6 gunshots, and after every single one, the shooter screamed one word: goal. The man dying in that parking lot hadn't robbed anyone. He hadn't hurt anyone. He'd played a game of football and made one mistake. 10 days earlier, in front of more than 100 million people, he accidentally scored a goal for the wrong team. He would never play again. He would never get married. Because somewhere in his country, men who'd lost money betting on his team decided he owed them his life. This is the story of Andrés Escobar, the most tragic own goal in the history of sport. And 32 years later, in a twist almost nobody saw coming, the story reached one final chapter. They called him the gentleman. In a country where football could be violent, where tempers ran hot, Andrés Escobar became known for something rare. Calm, class, respect. He didn't dive. He didn't cheat. He didn't trash talk. He simply played football the way he believed it should be played. He was a devout Catholic, the kind of man who went to Mass every morning with his mother. By 1994, he was captain of Colombia's national team. He was engaged to his girlfriend, a young dentist named Pamela. Their wedding was already planned for later that year. Life couldn't have looked brighter. On the field, he was one of the finest defenders in the world. Off the field, he had absolutely no idea he was living inside a machine built by a drug lord. To understand how Andrés Escobar ended up dead in a parking lot, you first have to understand where Colombia's football miracle really came from. Throughout the 1980s, Colombia was consumed by cartel violence, and no name cast a larger shadow than Pablo Escobar. He wasn't related to Andrés, just the same surname, the same city, and eventually, both men would meet violent ends. Pablo loved football, but football also gave him something else, a place to move money and hide unimaginable wealth. He poured cartel money into Colombian clubs. Foreign players arrived, facilities improved, stadiums grew, fortunes were washed clean through the world's most popular sport. People even gave it a name, narco-fútbol. It worked. By 1994, Colombia had climbed to 4th in the FIFA World Rankings. Many believed they could win the World Cup. Then, everything changed. In December 1993, Pablo Escobar was killed. With him, the balance of fear disappeared. The underworld didn't become weaker, it became unpredictable. No one knew it yet. But Andrés Escobar was already walking toward a fate he could never escape. Colombia arrived in the United States, still among the tournament favorites, completely unaware of what was waiting for them. June 22, 1994, Los Angeles. Colombia faced the United States, a match they were expected to win. The pressure was enormous. The world expected Colombia to bounce back. In the 35th minute, an American cross curled into the penalty area. Andrés Escobar reacted instantly. He slid forward, trying to cut the ball out. For a split second, it looked like the perfect interception. It wasn't. The angle was wrong. The ball struck his leg, changed direction, and rolled helplessly past his own goalkeeper. Silence, then celebration. But not from Colombia. It was an own goal. One touch, that changed everything. The United States won 2-1. Colombia's World Cup dream was over. Millions of fans were devastated. But disappointment wasn't the only thing waiting back home. Some people hadn't just lost hope, they had lost fortunes. Illegal gambling money, cartel money, money that had been placed on Colombia to win. For most players, it was simply a painful defeat. For Andrés Escobar, it would become a death sentence. He returned to Medellin. The criticism was relentless. Newspapers, radio, television, everyone had an opinion. But Andrés never hid. Instead, he wrote a newspaper column. He urged Colombians to move forward. He reminded people that football was only a game. He believed life would return to normal. He was wrong. A little more than a week later, he went out with friends. A restaurant, then a nightclub, Nothing unusual, nothing reckless. Just one evening, trying to leave the nightmare behind. Around 3 o'clock in the morning, he walked back to his car. That's when 3 men approached him. Words were exchanged. The argument grew louder. Then, a handgun appeared. 6 shots echoed through the parking lot. Witnesses would later say that after every shot, the gunman shouted one word. Goal. Andrés Escobar collapsed beside his car. He was 27 years old. The country fell into mourning. More than 120,000 people attended his funeral, one of the largest public gatherings in Colombian history. A nation that had celebrated him only weeks before now carried his coffin through the streets. One accidental touch of a football had ended a human life. Police arrested the gunman that very night. His name was Humberto Castro Muoz, a bodyguard and driver. He admitted to the shooting almost immediately. But investigators believed the story didn't end with the man who pulled the trigger. Questions quickly turned to the powerful men he worked for. Among those questioned were Santiago Galán Henao and his brother. Both had alleged links to Colombia's criminal underworld. Witnesses claimed they had confronted Andrés Escobar just minutes before the shooting. Authorities investigated their possible involvement, but proving who ordered the murder would be far more difficult. Castro Muoz was convicted of murder. His original sentence was later reduced. The Galán brothers were never convicted of ordering the killing. For years, the case remained surrounded by allegations, conflicting testimony, and unanswered questions. For Andrés Escobar's family, justice never truly felt complete. Then, more than 3 decades later, another headline appeared. February 2026. Santiago Galán Henao was shot and killed at a restaurant in Huixquilucan, Mexico. The news spread across Colombia within hours. For many, it reopened one of the country's deepest wounds. Soon afterward, Colombian President Gustavo Petro publicly referred to Galán as being responsible for Andrés Escobar's death. His statement echoed what many Colombians had believed for years. Even so, no court had ever convicted Galán of ordering the murder. That distinction still matters. Whether history saw it as coincidence, revenge, or an unfinished chapter finally closing, one fact remains unchanged. Andrés Escobar never lived long enough to see justice. He never married Pamela. He never returned to another World Cup. His life ended at just 27 years old because of one moment on a football pitch. Today, his statue still stands in Medellin. Supporters still carry his photograph, and decades later, his name is remembered, not for the own goal, but for the dignity with which he faced the days that followed. A game lasted 90 minutes. Its consequences lasted a lifetime. This was Panoptica Worldwise. Every story on this channel is researched carefully because these are real people and their stories deserve to be told right. If you want to see more of these, subscribe to the channel. And if this story stayed with you, leave a like and tell us your thoughts in the comments. We genuinely read every single one.